We're back. Hello and welcome to the Breakaway podcast. You know who I am. I'm your host, John Root. We got part 2 of our Sunday conversation with Hall of Fame linebacker Brian Urlacher. He's unapologetic. You found that out in part 1, and he keeps going in part 2 of this podcast. He answers the question, is the NFL getting soft? Colin Kaepernick. He does not want to see a linebacker like Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher has a lot of thoughts on that situation, Kaepernick trying to come back into the NFL. Also, if he saw President Biden or the Clintons on the football field, he'll tell you what would happen there. He talks about woke mainstream media, the Rooney Rule, current NFL players that he knows and loves. He talks about his favorite stadium, toughest players to tackle, why the Pro Bowl sucks. We're definitely on board with that together. He talks about some Hall of Fame snubs and why he loves golf, as long as some of his favorite movies, and how in the world did Brian Urlacher have all this hair? You might have known him as the bald Brian Urlacher, but he's got hair now. He breaks down that crazy hair implant story. So without further ado, part 2 of our Sunday conversation with Hall of Fame linebacker Brian Urlacher. Definitely do have some questions about golf, but going back to like this aspect of like being soft in our society, do you feel like the NFL and sports have gone soft a little bit?
It's just different. Well, now it's all about health and safety in the NFL. You know, it's not. I wouldn't. They wouldn't prefer to do it as soft, but it's just different now. You know, you see these quarterbacks. I saw a quarterback this year get sacked, but they called roughing the passer on the guy that sacked him. I'm like, that was a sack. How is that roughing the passer? If no one blocks him and he sacks your quarterback, that should be a penalty on the offensive lineman.
Yeah, that whole like put your body weight on him.
Yeah, turn your sideways and throw him to the ground on his tush so he doesn't get hurt when you tackle him, so you don't get a 400-yard penalty or a $62,000 fine. There's just so many rules that drive me crazy about the NFL. Can you
explain to people how difficult that is? Because the NFL moves so fast. And you're watching this stuff in slow motion.
Milliseconds. Yeah, they're going back and like, here's the one rule that I can't in college football, the targeting rule.
Yes.
You're going to suspend this kid for a game or a half for targeting. Okay, fine. I understand. Throw the penalty. Give him 15 yards, but when they go back and review it, or they'll stop. There's no flag thrown during the play. And all of a sudden, they just beat down for something. Must be a targeting call. Let's go back and look at this play from 62 different angles. Oh yeah, that guy definitely turned his head on that block. That we're gonna throw him out of the game now. You're messing with the kid's future. I mean, if these kids have a chance to make the NFL, some of them, it could cost them a draft spot. You never know. I mean, it may be a little far fetched, but you may cost them a draft spot. But they want to make it safe. I'm all. My son plays high school football. I get it. I want to make it safe for him too. But you know what? Play smarter. You know, don't put your head down. Don't put your head. Don't lower it in someone's knee. Don't go to put your head in someone's chest. This is not how you're supposed to tackle. Keep your head up and put your head across their chest.
But there's times too where I feel like defensive players are put in a horrible position now. Like it just because that's where like I'm constantly going to harp on the idea of how difficult it is to react in real time. Like it's unbelievable. Like once again, you're going against the best of the best.
This far, I mean, there's you can't adjust your angle. Like when the ball's thrown, they should throw a penalty on the quarterback for throwing some of those footballs because they're hanging the receivers out to dry, you know. But and even Tom Brady said something about that too. He said something like, "Man, they should, you know, if my guy gets a penalty or if my receiver gets hit, I should get the penalty, you know, because I threw that football, I shouldn't have thrown it."
Yep.
But yeah, it's tough to watch now because the thing that still makes me mad and always has is when the lineman can cut your knees out or a running back can take your knees out, no problem. As a defensive player, that's why our knees are important to us. You know, I know that helmets are a big, you know, heads are a big deal too if you're getting concussions, but knees are a pretty big deal too. You see some of these older guys that can't even walk anymore. They're in wheelchairs from having so many surgeries. It's because they were cut every damn play when they played defensive line or linebacker. So I could go on forever about this. I get really, really mad about some of the rules for the offense compared to the defense.
Well, if you could sit down with maybe NFLPA and some executives, like what would you do to change it?
The PA doesn't do anything anyway. I think they work for the NFL, honestly. Yeah, they don't have anything really.
Were you ever involved in that when in your playing days?
No, I if they ever nominated me for anything, I was like, do not nominate me to go to these stupid NFL PA meetings. They don't do anything. You know, they make money. You know, all the merchandising and stuff. NFL PA gets a piece of that, so they pay all their high salaries with what they make off the players. But then they package it like, oh, look, here's your 6% of your $2 million jersey sales. Thanks. Where'd the other 1.8 go? Oh, that goes back into the NFL licensing. You know, it's really expensive to license these jerseys and stuff like that. Anyway, you know it's a big money pit.
It's like, Brian, we're working on these new initiatives, and we're going to need this millions of dollars.
That's right. You know, to pay our salaries and to get stuff done, we have to use this money for that.
This multi-million-dollar house isn't going to pay for itself, Brian.
You said it, not me. I wasn't going there.
But if you could talk to them about, like, even because obviously we're talking about college football with targeting. I think it's I think it's nonsense too, especially to you have offensive players that are lowering their head too.
The running backs lower their head it drives me crazy. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But I would just say make it more fair. You know, so I can't imagine being a cornerback in the NFL and not getting a penalty every play. Because if you press and you touch them out to 5 yards, that's a penalty, that's first down. And I feel like the refs are great at calling it in 3rd and 20. The downs you're never going to pick up. And you're playing zone anyway, but they're going to call a phantom 6 yards down the field. That's illegal touching. Playing cornerback in the NFL will be impossible because you can't touch them. You can't do anything. But just make it more fair if you can. I mean, eliminate some cut blocks. Eliminate the cut block from the game. That's what I would say. If you want to make it safe for defensive players as well, I understand helmet-to-helmet contact is not good for anybody, but neither is helmet-to-knee contact by the offensive lineman or running backs on linebackers or D linemen. It's not good for anybody.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but it sounds like you're saying maybe refs were a little selective.
Wait! You mean when they put an emphasis on certain things every season? Mm-hmm. So you'll have these training camp refs will come in and like, okay, the NFL is going to put an emphasis on offensive holding this year. So the first game of the year, there's 10 offensive holding calls. Now, were there really 10 offensive holdings? I don't know. They called it. There's an emphasis on it. So
there's
of course
probably holding every play.
Every play. It depends on when they want to call it. We're going to put an emphasis on illegal contact this year. First game, 30 illegal contacts, or first weekend. And then whatever they put an emphasis on is what they're going to call. Why? Why not just call what you see? Does that make sense?
That sounds
How about
like
you just call what you think may or may not be a penalty, and other than that, don't worry about it. And the Super Bowl was great because there was no penalties till the very end, when it really mattered.
That's very true.
There was no penalties till it mattered. And then it was a penalty. The guy did kind of hook Cup going around the end there, but it's funny to me how there's zero all game long, like the one when Jalen Ramsey got drugged down by his face mask.
Yeah,
that wasn't a penalty. Offensive guys can do whatever they want to. If a defensive guy touched an offensive guy like that, you're talking about being ejected, $1 million fine. That'd be the end of the world.
And you talk about like first take's going to go off on that. Next day. Oh man,
look what this guy did to him. How could he get away with this? This is the worst. This is a travesty. And then an offensive guy does it to a defensive guy. Oh, that's a good play. That Brest missed that one. Sorry. Why can't you review it? You review everything else? Yep. Oh, man. And the reviews drive me crazy, too.
Man, and then, overtime rules just got changed and updated.
No, the overtime for playoffs.
For the playoffs.
For the playoffs. That's the only thing that got updated.
For me, I was in hockey for a long time. I was working for the San Jose Sharks for about 5 seasons. And the way that the NHL does it is they have a shootout during the regular season because obviously you're going to get a point for even making it to overtime, and obviously the point system is a lot different than just having a 16-game season.
A win or loss,
but just having this in the playoffs, I think there's plenty of times where you have the Chiefs against the Bills. Like, what a game that was.
That was
and then
phenomenal.
You have some of these games come down to just you luckily win a coin toss, and then like –
score
and
first,
then how do you feel specifically? I hear people say, well, I don't think both teams should get the ball. The defense should do their job. Like from a defensive standpoint, like how difficult is that to say, hey, maybe it's a high scoring game and it's completely up to us and we know that our offense can't even rebuttal at all.
Yeah, well, we didn't score a lot of points when I played. Our teams didn't score a lot of points. Well, our offense didn't, not very much, but I agree with the stop them on defense, but so I like the college rule this year. They changed it to like you get 2 possessions to score a touchdown and kick the extra point, and then you go for 2 after that. Mm-hmm. I don't know why the NFL doesn't do that. The college rule is so exciting. Or just go for 2 every time. If they get it, cool. If you get it, cool. Just go tell someone. It's not going to affect your stats. I know that the NFL is a big stats guys, but they don't want to give too many touchdowns. So don't give them touchdowns.
Well, because that's a part of incentives, though, too. That
Fine.
I think that
so make it a 2-point conversion then.
Yeah.
So give them 2 points. It's not a touchdown. And by the way, conversions don't count for stats anyway. They don't even count as a catch. Mm-hmm. So just put it as a 2-point conversion, and you go until one team gets it and one team doesn't. How hard is that? That's what the college teams have done now. After the first 2 rounds, you have to go for 2, and then somebody wins.
Brian,
what's wrong with that?
You make too much sense, man.
You
make too much sense for me. And
I don't hear that very often. You should hang out in my house. I'll hear how dumb I am.
I want to get your, and I'm sure your wife would have a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, she's the smartest person I've ever met. Just ask her.
Well, at that point, can't you just kind of blame it? It's just like, honey,
she's sitting right there looking at me, by the way, just staring at me right now.
It's like, I took a lot of hits, honey, in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, just like I got my bell rung a few times. Give me a break.
Give me a break. Yeah, I use that one a lot.
What do you think about Colin Kaepernick trying to make a comeback in the NFL? Because you talk about another situation where I talked about earlier, you need to explain yourself. So when he originally took the knee, people have to remember that Blaine Gabbert took his job.
He beat him out.
And when he gave his reasoning, he talked about a shooting incident in San Francisco where there was a criminal with an 8-inch knife that was already a part of a stabbing incident, and officers gave him multiple warnings. I think almost up to half a dozen warnings, and then it got to a situation where it was unsafe and there was a shooting. And then, like, that already got resolved. So if, like, that's your reasoning and you're trying to stand up, like, everybody here is saying that just the phrase Black Lives Matter, I think we can all get around. But the BLM Incorporated.
Yeah, two different entities, in my opinion. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they mean two different things.
Now he's trying to say that the NFL Combine is basically like the slave trade. They poke and they prod, and he's calling the NFL racist. And if this is so racist, and
why do you want to come back and play? Why do you want to go? Like he just said it. I'm going to go back to your other point first when he first started kneeling. Why do you want to keep trying to play in the NFL if they're slave owners? They allegedly, someone said they act like they treat them like slaves. None of these guys would. I don't know how they would know, but I've done some research. I didn't know that the average salary was $500,000 back in the day. If you were a slave owner, you had to pay $500,000 because that's what they're paying these players now is $500,000 at least, right? Right? Is it the same? Is that different?
That's what you have to think.
I mean, so I just don't know why because he just said this a couple weeks ago. I feel like, and now he's trying. Oh, I'm Brady. I'm back. I'm good to go. Blah blah blah. And going back to when he started kneeling, so. He started for 3 or 4 years for the Niners, and they were pretty good in those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he definitely had some success, and I think that's something we bring up all the time.
He was good. He was good for a couple of years. He was pretty good.
And they had the Har Bowl, and then obviously the Niners weren't able to win that.
Yeah. So when was he kneeling when he started?
No.
He didn't kneel when he started.
No, he didn't.
Was there police brutality going on when he started? Was there other things going on, like social injustice going on when he started? I'm assuming there was, right?
Yeah,
because it's always been an issue, right, in America?
Because, that's when it gets down to this systemic racism.
Yeah, so it's always been going on, correct? Even when he started, it was going on.
It's always been in America. It's always been in the NFL to his eyes.
Yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, I think there's this aspect of opportunist.
Yeah.
He was an opportunist where he was a backup quarterback.
I was trying to finish, bro.
I'm so sorry. I get fired up.
So all that was going on when he started, correct?
Correct.
And then when he got beat out is when he started taking a knee. I don't understand that. So when he wasn't starting is when he wanted to call out why he was doing, or he wanted to make a spectacle and bring it to the forefront, but not when he was starting because it wasn't that big of a deal then. But now that I'm not starting and I got beat out by Blaine Gabbert of all people, I need to make a scene here and let people know that this is a problem.
Wouldn't you call that privilege?
I would call that opportunity. I mean, it's
like call it privilege when he was just like, you know what, I'm kind of. Things might be bad,
things
but
aren't going the way I want him to go right now. I should take a knee for the anthem. People are going to recognize me, and I'm going to get talked about a lot. That's the way I saw it. Especially looking back at you look back the whole how it happened because he didn't kneel at all until he got beat out for his job. Correct. That's it.
And that's why I say
nothing changed.
That's why I say there's like a sense of like privilege. So like think about all those years he was playing.
Yes.
And if there was real injustice going on. That he decided to turn a blind eye to, that's got to be a sense of privilege there.
Yes.
But with this whole situation here, it just started such a crap storm in the NFL that that like fans don't enjoy this. Everybody, you talk to a lot of people in America, and they're like, we're going to stand up with Americans, and we don't want to see injustice. But if we're going to have somebody that is going to explain themselves and talk about a police shooting that was 100% justified, and then they're going to wear a Fidel Castro T-shirt, and then they're going to wear
the socks. That the pigs or whatever.
Police officers as pigs on your socks, and you're going to act like you are some sort of modern day Muhammad Ali or just like Martin Luther King Jr. It's like, this is nonsense.
Well, he got rewarded for it. Nike gave him a big deal. He's got some other stuff going on too, so he got rewarded for it. Those woke companies rewarded him. So,
I mean, he's become a multimillionaire
Yeah.
for race baiting. And that's why I think he's the Joy Reid of the NFL.
Joy Reid, she's on one of those news stations.
MSNBC. I would
Yes.
not suggest checking that out.
Yeah, I think I ran across her one night. I was flipping back and forth, and I listened for about 3.5 seconds, then I changed it.
Yeah. It doesn't take very long.
It didn't take long that night either, no.
Do you think he'll get picked up, though?
No. Well, he sued the NFL for him and another guy sued him, and the other guy hasn't got to play either since he got I don't think he has, maybe I could be wrong. For collusion, because they wouldn't sign him. It was collusion that no team would sign him. All the teams were colluding against him not to sign him as a quarterback.
But we also
So-
got to know
And he won.
that Brian Flores right now is suing the NFL as well, along with some other coaches.
A coach that I coached for the Bears when I was there. Coach Wilkes was a DB coach for the Bears when I was there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that situation, dude? Because I mean, you talk about like during your playing days, you had so many people come together and you guys like appreciate each other.
Yeah.
There might have been a few conversations.
I don't know from the management side, or I have no idea how that goes, how the hiring goes. In my opinion, if you are the best man for the job, you should get the job. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what you believe in. I mean, obviously, there's some. I mean, whatever skin color you are, if you're the best man for the job, get the job. That's all. They should hire you, and I believe that's how most teams work. I don't know that they hold spots for certain people. I don't know how that goes. I have no idea, but I think as much money is on the line in the NFL, you would want the best person coaching your team who is qualified for that job, whatever color they are. Correct?
Yeah.
Lovie Smith just got hired in Houston, his third head coaching job.
Yep.
He's one of the best head coaches. He is the best head coach I've ever played for. He should be a head coach in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason he keeps getting rehired, because men respect him and they want to play for him. I don't know what the story was in Miami. I don't know why he got fired. I have no idea. I have a hard time like after the fact. Like he didn't do this whenever the situation happened. He didn't bring it up. It comes up after the fact when like these guys are all 2 or 3 years down after these situations happen. They bring it up. Why not bring it up when it happens? Because you still want to coach. You still want to be a part of this league that is you say is not letting you do what you want to do. It's frustrating to me, and I could be wrong. I have no idea. We'll see what and you know that nothing's going to happen in the lawsuit. They're going to settle.
Yeah.
The NFL will pay them because they don't want the headache. That's what they did with Kaepernick and the other guy. They just paid them.
And then what you were expressing was meritocracy. The best person should get the job, and it feels like that has been put to
That doesn't matter
wayside.
anymore. Yeah, and now you have the NFL implementing that teams need to hire a new minority staffer on one side of the ball. The NFL is definitely
on the offensive side of the ball,
yeah,
or it could be a woman.
Which is fine. You know, I get that. The NFL is definitely not equal. When you look at what's the percentage of Hispanic players in the NFL? Do you know?
But maybe there's like less than a percentage.
Yeah. What about white players?
There's probably like 5-7%.
More than that. Asian players? I don't know.
Asian players.
That win was one.
Yeah.
And then African American players. So they control 75-80% of the players in the NFL. So it's not equal by any means. The players aren't equal. So if you want to equal the playing field, do it on every level, not just the coaching level. Do it on every level.
Well, that's when it gets into this whole equity conversation. In the
NFL end zone just said equality.
Yeah.
Equality. That's what it said, but it's not equal because there's not the same amount of every race playing in the game.
But that's where there is a difference here between when people hear equality and equity. Those are totally different things. What the NFL is pushing right now, equity is there's an equal outcome, not equal opportunity. Because what makes America great is that you have equal opportunity. So it's
succeed.
like, so obviously there's politics when it comes to, friendships and everything like that. When it comes to sports, obviously like, you want to make good relationships to keep going, and that's how a lot of these coaches work their way up. They obviously have
tight circles in the NFL. The coaching circles are tight, and these coaches coach together. If a coach is hired from here to there, they're taking that staff with them, or a bunch of guys with them, and then that guy will get hired somewhere and pick some of those guys. Then it's such a close knit circle, and they stick with the guys they know because they know who can help them win.
Exactly. I feel
it's
like
all about winning.
That's where it gets into this whole equity conversation. I think that's being pushed from President Biden down. You're even seeing now that like even Supreme Court justices, we want it to look like America. Like what if you had someone in the NFL who said, I want the NFL to look like America. There would be a hell of a lot more white people in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, in a lot of ways, you're fast.
Yeah.
But if you start trying to implement just by like population, percentage, it's like, man, it's going to be slower and it's not going to be as exciting.
Yeah, I mean, hire the best player, or best person for the position. That's what the NFL does. Player-wise, that's what the NFL does.
Yep.
They get the best players to get at the best position, right? Mm-hmm. Whoever's the best player is going to play that spot. Doesn't matter what skin color you are.
Yep.
But then they're trying to change that for coaching. It doesn't make sense. Just hire the best person for the job. Don't make these guys hire someone based on their skin color. Let them hire who the best person. If they're a different, let them. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it because they're pushing something. You're not going to get probably the results you want. Let them hire who the best person is for the job, no matter what skin color they are. The Rooney Rule was put in I think it puts a disadvantage to the minority coaches because they have to. They're like, okay, we have to interview two minorities no matter what.
Yep.
But they're just doing that to fulfill the Rooney Rule. They're not doing it because they want to, or because they may have interviewed it. I'm not saying not because they want to. They're doing it because what if they interview a guy who's not a minority first and they want to hire him? They're just fulfilling the Rooney Rule with the other two hires, with the other two interviews. It doesn't make sense.
That's why I feel like it's a slap in the face here, because everyone too, especially with sports, like everyone works so hard to get to where they're at.
Yes,
and they want to know I got the job because I worked hard and I'm in a position to succeed.
Yeah.
Whether you're playing on the field or coaching on the field.
But that goes back to your Kaepernick comment about what he said about what NFL owners are, right?
Yeah.
There you go. It goes back to that. I just wish they would just at every level of the NFL, because it's okay for the teams to hire the best player at each position. That's fine, no problem. Mm-hmm. But at every other level, it's not okay anymore.
So what do you think's going to happen here then? Like, where's the NFL going to be in about 10 years?
Flag football. I don't know. I really enjoy watching football, so I hope it doesn't change much more than it already has. I like everybody as a product on the field, honestly. I like watching the games, and the product on the field is still pretty good. There's some great players in the NFL. You look at Mahomes and what he can do. Tom Brady still playing at 60 years old. Tom and I were drafted in the same class, by the way. Tom and I were drafted in 2000, and he's still playing. It's crazy to me.
What do you think about him coming back, too? Because that was almost just like, I'm out. Nah, I'm coming back.
What? They broke that story, but they were like, we're sure now. Schefter was like, I'm not positive. So yeah,
Classic Schefter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Schefter's pretty good. He got the inside track to a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
But I was not surprised when he came back. I didn't think it'd take long. But I really love watching football. The product on the field is usually pretty good. I don't agree with a lot of the rules, but I don't have to agree. It doesn't matter. They're not trying to. I'm not playing, so it doesn't matter.
Do you talk to any of your old teammates and good friends about like the NFL right now, even some of this like social justice stuff and everything? Do you have some pretty good positive conversations with people about
I did early on. So here's what I figured out over the last 2.5 years. There was a lot of guys I played with who were teammates that like we were on the same team. So we were teammates, and there's a lot of guys or a few guys that were my friends, because you can have friends and teammates and they can be both. So that I figured out who my teammates were, and now I know who my friends are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot more teammates and a lot less friends. Make sense?
Did you have any like friends when it came to sports media?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. There's some guys I could like. Vaughn McClure was a friend of mine. Vaughn passed away.
Yeah.
Vaughn was a good friend of mine, and
incredible writer.
Good writer, man. And Vaughn, he wanted to get the truth. Like he would text me at like a minute. I'm like, Vaughn, dude, he goes, well, what happened? I want to know. I want to get your take on this. Or the morning of, like, before he writes the story, he's like, hey, I just want to make sure you this is what I was like, yeah, that's what I said. I appreciated that, because I don't, as long as you're reporting the truth, you can't have a beef with the guy, can you? And Vaughn would always, like, I may not like what he said, but it was the truth. I mean, because I didn't play good every game. So you know what? If I don't play good, you're allowed to call me out. I don't give a crap. But just don't make stuff up as to what you think happened as to what really happened.
Yeah, and I always enjoyed reading his work too. I know he did some stuff for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, he was there with the Falcons. Yep.
So unfortunately, that's my team. We don't need to get into that again. But
did they trade Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan's been traded. Yeah, he's with the Colts now.
Who's your quarterback?
So it looks like Marcus Mariota's going to be the guy.
I like Marcus.
He's fun, but he's
not
definitely
Matt. Matt Ryan's getting up there too. We'll see. Maybe it's a good start for both of them.
Yeah, I think it's good for Matty Ice. Honestly, for me as a fan, I feel like he got unbelievably disrespected, because they were in the conversation with Deshaun Watson, and they were holding out on the extension and everything.
Well, if what's the dude's name? Who's the coach at the Niners now?
Shanahan.
If Shanahan doesn't throw the football, on the first down in the Super Bowl, they have a Super Bowl ring. And when they have the ball at the 30-yard line going in to score up by 8, if he doesn't throw the ball on first down, he gets sacked and go out of field goal range, and then second, third down, you go further back. They won the Super Bowl. Anyway.
Exactly.
Man, I just want to bring it. But, yeah, I like Matty Ice.
Thanks for that dagger.
You're welcome. Yeah, well, I was on the Falcons that game, so I was pretty excited about the situation, and then I wasn't and left it overtime. But, yeah, I just I like Matt Ryan. I think he's a good quarterback. But it could be good going to a fresh – they have a good defense in Indy.
Yeah.
Darius Leonard's a bad dude. Their middle linebacker.
He's a stud.
He's a badass.
All right, we're going to take a little break from our awesome conversation with Brian Urlacher and talk about food. Some good food from our friends at Good Ranchers. Food's a huge part of the sports experience. What if I told you you could buy food for that watch party and donate to TPUSA without even leaving your home? You say, John, get out of town. Now you can with Good Ranchers. They sell 100% American meat, and they believe so much in what we're doing, they're going to donate 50 buckaroos to TPUSA on your behalf when you purchase from them. Good Ranchers delivers steakhouse quality beef, chicken, and seafood right to your door. With code TPUSA, you can donate $50 to our mission while getting absolutely delicious food. I'll tell you what, oh man, it's getting hot in here. I'm starting to get the meat sweats. Woo! Head on over to goodranchers.com/TPUSA today. Get ribeyes, New York strips, gourmet burgers, and more. Order now, people. Come on. Promo code TPUSA and $50 will be donated to our mission of sharing and preserving true American values. Go to goodranchers.com/TPUSA to get a box today. Oh man, all this talk. Once again, use promo code TPUSA at goodranchers.com/TPUSA. Do good while you eat good. Now back to our conversation. So, who do you see in the NFL right now from linebackers that you really respect, or even just defensive players that you just love to watch?
Aaron Donald's a different guy. Aaron Donald, for interior lineman or D lineman, he gets blocked by 2 or 3 guys every single play, and he still makes plays. Mm-hmm. It's unreal to me to watch him play. I don't know how, like, when I used to play and I go a pass rush, I'd be so tired after, like, oh, God, I had to blitz, and the guy blocked me, and he just threw me to the ground. This dude does it every single play. It doesn't come out of the game. I never took plays off either, but man, after a pass rush, I was like, why do I have to rush every play? Aaron Donald's just the best in the league. Darius Leonard, an Indy, good football player, middle linebacker for them.
Fun personality too.
Yeah, I saw him. We were at an event, the Super Bowl. He was there. He's a fun guy. I'm trying to think of more guys. I like Harrison Smith, the safety for the Vikings. Mm-hmm. He's been around for a long time. Yep. Just gets it done, man. Just gets it done back there in the back end. Give me some names, man. Bobby Wagner, been around for a long time. One of my favorite players, been around for a long time. She's saying something. Who? Oh, Micah Parsons. What am I thinking about?
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
My favorite team, the Cowboys, obviously. That dude should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. What he did as a rookie and impact that defense, Dan Quinn did a great job with our defense last year in Dallas. But the impact he had on that team, he had 11, 12 sacks, whatever it was. Runs like a flat 40. At 245, just the dude's unbelievable.
I don't want to see that dude coming at me.
Number 11, he's got a sweet number 11.
Mm-hmm.
I wish when I played, you could pick what number you wanted to wear. And then 5 years after, whatever, I retired, they let these guys wear whatever. I was number 11 in high school, by the way. That's why I like his number.
But Tom Brady was bringing that up, where he's like, I feel like I'm confused. Yeah. I'm confused now.
I saw that.
But you like that.
No, I don't like it. No, I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like it, but you would have wanted it.
As a player, it might have been cool to wear your number you wore in high school or in college, whatever. But I don't like it as a fan because you can't tell who's who. It's so hard figuring out, okay, he changed numbers, now he's number whatever, so it's hard to figure out who's who out there sometimes. Because,
obviously there were certain player groups that had numbers. I feel like some people just don't realize that. And that helped me follow along too, like playing I played football my whole life, but there's times where I'm like, oh wait, who is that? Is that a safety? Wait, that's not a safety. Or that's a linebacker.
Well, the O linemen get screwed because they're still going to be 50s, 60s, and 70s. They're still wearing their terrible numbers, so they don't get to change their numbers.
Imagine an O lineman being like number 7,
single digit. You know what looks cool is the D lineman with single digit numbers. Yeah. Like in college, you look at the guys at like those big dudes at Auburn. Where's the other at Ohio State? They got the guys in the single. It looks cool as hell to me with the D lineman with single digits. Yeah. Georgia. Those D linemen at Georgia are different. Did you see what the Davis kid ran at the combine? A 4.8? Is it Jordan Davis? That's his name?
Yep, Jordan Davis. I'm hoping the Falcons pick him up.
That would not be a bad. Anyone who picks him up, I think, will be excited to have him. Mm-hmm. Falcons need a quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, but the quarterback class right
A
now.
receiver. They got a little receiver issue, correct?
Yeah, they got a receiver. Man, we got a lot of issues.
Do they have a lot of cap room?
No.
How does that happen? How do the teams have all these issues and they have no cap room?
Because
Makes no sense.
I feel like they had Thomas Dimitroff for a little while as the GM.
Yeah, the GM.
He's out of Atlanta now, and they had the old GM with the Saints. That's in there now.
Mickey Loomis?
No.
Saints has got a good GM. He's done a good job. Mickey Loomis did a good job.
I'm forgetting the guy's name, but it's one of those where they took a massive cap hit with Matt Ryan getting traded. They have, I think it was like
dead money. They got the
$30
dead money.
million. I think it was like $30 million in dead money. So it's just like that's
a lot of bread. Well, but you paid Marcus what, $10, $12 million a year? I don't know what you paid him. So you're getting a break. If you can get a starting quarterback for under $20 million a year, you can spend some money. That's why you hope your rookie quarterbacks that you get are good, because you don't have to pay them for 4 years. Even if they're a number one pick, you're not paying them $40 million a year. You can pay other guys, and your window is a little bigger. And then when you got to pay them, then you get worse other places.
That's why I think here, I don't really see the Falcons picking up a quarterback. I mean,
in the draft,
it's not a really solid draft class for quarterbacks.
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of other positions, and let's see what we can do with Marcus Mariota. And that's, seeing the NFC South, it's like no wonder Tom Brady came back. He's like the Panthers look like trash. The Saints don't look very good either. The Falcons are absolute disarray. So he's like, all right, well, there's
defense is good.
They're nice.
They give Tom Brady fits. He hasn't beat. I think he's beat him one time, and it was in the playoffs since he's been in Tampa. He's 1-4 and lost all 4 regular season games. Of course, he wins the one that matters. But NFC South is weird.
Yeah,
finally got a repeat winner this year with Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Man, they go from the 30 touchdown, 30 interception guy to Tom Brady. Like,
I know.
Let me upgrade you.
Jameis was doing good before he got hurt, though. Too, he had some nice numbers before he got that knee injury. And their defense balls, and they play some good defense.
Man, at least the defensive side of the ball is like.
You know how I like in Atlanta, Deion Jones. They're like middle linebacker. He runs to the football. He makes plays, man. I like watching him play. I like watching those young guys just run to the football. A lot of times you see these guys, they're jogging to the football, or you see a change of speed when the ball's thrown. They're like, oh shit, I got to go. Oh, there's a fumble. Oh, well, if you're running full speed already, you don't have to change speeds. And that's what I try and tell my son. It's like, you need to run full speed all the time. I know it's hard because you may not think you're going to make the play, but if that ball comes out, if there's a tip or whatever, you just never know.
Looks like the Pro Bowl nowadays.
Oh, I heard about it. I can't watch that game.
Man, alive.
7 on, whatever, yeah.
Because that's where I feel like at points.
Why have the game?
It's just like, maybe just put flags on.
Well, why have the game in, like, okay, congratulations, you made the Pro Bowl. I think they do it. They sell out the stadium, whatever. They get TV money, but the product's not good. It's not good.
Well, because, I mean, obviously you don't want to see anybody get hurt.
No, no.
And then you don't want somebody to pull something for a game that doesn't matter, but there's still got to be a way you can make this game. Like the NBA All-Star game, I feel like has been made a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
And that doesn't surprise me at all. There's a lot of people that don't watch.
Yeah.
But what they do, I think, now is they have a winner each quarter. There's going to be a charitable donation to a charity on one side. And then you got one captain that's going to pick his team, another captain is going to pick his team. And then by the fourth quarter, whoever's leading, I think they just add 24 points to that score. And then that is the mark you got to meet. And it's the last few years have been really exciting, and then that's when they start picking it up in the fourth quarter.
They know when to go, right?
Yeah,
I mean, those dudes are great athletes.
And then obviously you're gonna make money for winning the game and everything for charitable donations and even yourself.
Pro Bowl is discrepancy between who wins and who loses. That's the difference in the game. So I think when I played, it was 40-20 for the winner and loser, which is a long time ago. Last time I went, actually played in the game was 03. I never went back. I mean, after you go a few times, you're like, oh, this is fun, but I don't want to go back.
Was Hawaii a good time, though?
Hawaii was fun. That's when, I mean, it was cool because, especially going as I went as a rookie. So Peyton was there, Emmett Smith, like all these dudes are there, Marshall Faulk, Derek Brooks, John Lynch. I was like, dang, Larry Allen, I just watched all these guys last year when I was in college. And now I'm in a Pro Bowl with them. So it was cool to see that. But, after your 2 or 3, 4 times, it's just the game is not fun because you can't do anything on defense. You can't blitz, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I just kind of quit going after that. I made a couple more after that, but I just didn't go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like telling you not to breathe because all you want to do is hit people.
Well, I just don't want to go. I don't want to pass rush. Anything but pass rushing, I'm okay with. Pass rushing makes me tired. The linemen are big and strong.
But when's the last Pro Bowl that you watched?
So I was the captain in 2018 or 2019, I think. Emmitt Smith and I were chosen as the NFC captains. So I sat on the sideline and got rained on the whole game as a captain. But that was a fun week, man. It was a Cowboys staff, so it was cool for me. And Coach Marinelli, who coached with us in Chicago, was our D coordinator, was their D coordinator as well. So it was cool to kind of be back around them. And you're at every practice during the week. You're a captain, but you're not doing anything. You're just kind of. I was throwing balls to the linebackers during ball drills, Van Der Esch and the other guys they had. But yeah, it was fun. That game was cool because I was involved in it a little bit. But since that game, don't think I watched one. I never know when it is.
Yeah.
I never know when they're going to have. Is it
the promotion's bad?
Is it before the Super Bowl? Is it after Super Bowl? When is it? I never know when it is anymore.
I'm trying to even remember.
I think it's
right
before.
Now. I think it's before because they have like those dead weeks there.
There's
a
the bye week. But so when I played, or back in the day when I first got in the NFL, it was the week after the Super Bowl. So you have the Super Bowl champs get they win the game and they fly to Hawaii. How cool is that?
Yeah.
They come. I'm sure the NFL charters a plane for them. Or I wouldn't know because they didn't win, but I'm sure they charter a plane for them and send them over there. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
But they changed it. I don't know what year they changed it.
Yeah, because I remember the old days of the Pro Bowl where you had people like, Devin Hester. That's somebody that so fast.
Oh yeah,
and,
you get
you
guys like that in the game. Oh. It changes because you got guys jogging. Well, Devin's not going to jog, buddy. If he gets the ball in his hands, you better watch out, because there's guys jogging down on kickoff, except the guys who made it on special teams, obviously, they're going to be flying down. But then everyone else is like, I'm covering a kickoff. I haven't covered a kickoff since I was in college, because they're all Pro Bowl players. They don't cover kickoffs.
And then back to your playing days, who was the toughest person to tackle?
I say this every interview, Ricky Williams. So Ricky was 5'10", 235, 240, ran a 4'4", 4'3", 40, and I'm 6'4", 250, but I couldn't get under Ricky. I was tall. It's hard for me to get under a guy who's 5'10", and I had some good games against him, but for me, he was always a pain in the ass just because of his size and speed. And I did okay, but tackling that dude was a pain. He just low to the ground, strong. Ricky was good. So he was always a pain. Obviously, Peterson up in Minnesota was good, but the number one guy would be Rick Williams for me. He was tough.
Who was the quarterback you went against, and you're like, I'm going to have the best chance to get an interception?
Oof. I shouldn't say this, but it's probably Brett, because what I talked about is
I figured you'd say
he's a gunslinger, man. Brett didn't care how big the window was. And they could be up by 35. Guess what? He was still going to sling it. He would go back there and still throw the football. So I this is no disrespect to him, but I would say Brett, just because of his mindset of trying to get the ball in certain windows. He always thought he could. I think I picked him off 3 times. I got Aaron 3 times too, though. So,
what was your favorite stadium to play in?
Besides Soldier Field?
Besides Soldier Field, of course. Because I don't want to get you in trouble with the Bears
Soldier Field, it's easy. Soldier Field was easy. That's an easy number one. But AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Ooh. It's like the Super Bowl. You go in there, there's 100,000 people. You come out of your first of all, you have a hot tub in your visitor's locker room and a cold tub in the visitor's locker room. We didn't have that in our locker room in Chicago, in our home team. We did later on because I think they saw that locker room down there. So you walk out and you're walking, there's plexiglass on both sides as you walk. I'm walking out of the stadium. My brother's like, hey, bro. I'm like, what are you doing down here, dude? We're going out for the game. My brother's over here. My buddy Perry, his 2 boys. I'm like, what are y'all doing? We have a box, and these are our boxes. We just come out here to get drinks and stuff. I'm like, wow. So you're walking out, and the fans are like lined up both sides of you. It was just a cool experience. And, I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan, so playing there was always cool, but we did good. I think we were 2-0 in that stadium when we put there in 2010, 2011. We did well.
I went there for the first time this last year. Went out to Dallas for New Year's, and then I got to see the Cardinals play the Cowboys, and that was a tough game for you as a Cowboys fan. But man, what a beautiful stadium! I felt like it was so easy to get around, and then when the sun comes through too, if you're sitting on a certain side of the stadium, it might be in your eyes for maybe 4 minutes or something, but man, it is a gorgeous
awesome. And it's
stadium.
not outdated.
Not at all.
It was built probably 12, 13 years ago, and it's not outdated yet. You got the Vegas Stadium, the LA Stadium. Those are unreal, but it hasn't got outdated yet, and it's only 12, 13 years old. Yeah. Yet. It will be soon.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
then SoFi's a good stadium. I enjoy it.
I've heard good things about it.
The
Yeah.
Halo board is cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I definitely do want to see Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons play. I think that would be interesting to see what that looks like.
We saw the Vikings' new stadium in 2018.
NRG?
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
The Vikings is NRG?
I think it's NRG.
I have no idea. But it's a nice stadium. Yeah, it was pretty cool, but I still take Dallas over all of them.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then what, Lambeau would be
Lambeau is amazing. Just the history. The toughest places to play are the domes because it's so loud.
Yeah.
You go like New Orleans, probably the loudest place I ever played. Minnesota when they were I think it was the Metrodome maybe back in the day. I played in the Silverdome for Detroit, but they stunk, so it wasn't that loud. St. Louis when they were inside before they went to LA. But all the domes were so loud. But yeah, Lambeau, and their fans were so respectful. They understand the game. They know when to cheer, when not to cheer, and they're just respectable. That's all. They're good people.
If you could tackle any media member or politician, just lay them out, who would it be?
Oh man, that's a good question. Just one, huh?
We can give you a top. We can give you a top 3, Brian, if you want.
Oh man, just one. I mean, I'm not really a violent person, but if I was on the football field and there were some people on the other side of the field who had the football and I could tackle them, maybe is that what you're asking?
Yeah, let's do that.
Like if I was playing football against maybe President Biden, I think it'd be fun to maybe tackle him one time. Maybe
a little Oklahoma drill.
Yeah,
there.
maybe a little Oklahoma drill. Maybe the Clinton family on the other, maybe blocking for him possibly. That might be fun. I could do some pass rush against them.
You could have Chelsea Clinton on the line.
Yeah,
you could have Hillary.
Yeah.
And then we could have Bill in the back.
Bill would be great.
Then he'd be running the ball.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely running the show. Definitely. Yeah, we could tell he runs the show. I'll stop there. That's enough. I think probably have much time left for me to talk about all the people that I would like to tackle on the football field. And
then also too, a couple more things for you as we start wrapping up here. Yeah. You've been a huge advocate for Zach Thomas in the
I'm glad you brought that up.
In the Hall of Fame, because obviously you're a Hall of Famer yourself, and people brought up even like Devin Hester and things like that. There's a lot of people that you feel like should get a little bit more love, and then Zach Thomas, I think, is become forgotten. But he's once again now. It's like, is this the year that he finally gets in because he's a finalist?
He was a finalist this year again. Did not get in. Mm-hmm. So if you put our stats side by side and don't put our names on our stats, you won't know who's who. We have pretty much identical stats. I may have a few more sacks and a few more picks, but tackles, he pisses on me. He has like 300 more tackles than I do. Mm-hmm. He played a little bit longer, but it just drives me crazy. I don't understand why. I know he didn't win a Super Bowl. Guess what? I didn't either. We didn't win a Super Bowl. I still got in. It's very annoying because I thought Zach was a great football player. He did a lot of things right and on and off the field. You have to take that into consideration when you're voting for these guys, because off the field, model citizen, great guy, great community guy, did things the right way. He's one of my favorite players, so I think he should be in. Devin Hester will get in. I think Devin, there's no doubt he'll get in. This year was his first ballot, his first try to get in. Didn't get in. It's going to be hard to get in first time as a special teams guy. Even though he was the best at his position, there's a lot of other guys who played a long time at their position who played 70, 80 snaps a game as opposed to 6 or 7 snaps a game, which Devin played as a returner. So it's a little different. But, Zach, it drives me crazy, and I get really pissed off talking about it because I don't understand every year he's a finalist, and every year he doesn't get in. It's just very annoying to me. And if you're going by stats, which is they say what they go by, he's a Hall of Famer.
What's the reasoning behind this?
I don't know.
Because that's got to be like, explain yourself here.
They don't have to explain themselves. That's what the issue is. They don't have to explain themselves. They can vote for who they want to. And here's what they say they do. I've heard stories about when they get in those meetings. They're like, well, we'll put him in. He'll get in next year. We'll put him in 2 years, blah, blah, blah. This year, we got to get this guy in. This is last year on the ballot. That should not matter. If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. You should go in when you go in. It doesn't matter like, oh, we got to get this guy. No. Why should he be in over him? That's what they do. They get in that room. They delegate like this is his last year on the ballot. We should get him in. Why?
Why'd you wait so long?
Why would he have to wait till this year? If he's a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer last year too. Mm-hmm. Well, there was 3 other guys on the ballot who got in ahead of him. It just the way they look at things. It doesn't. And I'm sure it's a lot more difficult than I'm making it out to be because I'm not voting. So, but you know who votes on those things, right?
Yeah, the writers,
the media, the smart guys, the guys who played 30, when they were kids in high school and college, and all the guys who played all their lives are voting for who gets in the NFL Hall of Fame, or I'm sorry, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Guys who have no clue about what these guys go through in their football careers.
Well, that's the crazy part about it is like they need people like you to advocate for these
I try.
That's what's crazy.
Even before I got inducted, I tried. I knew it could affect my induction if I said something that wasn't favorable towards the process. They could not put you in. Mm-hmm. You got to be careful with what you say because they may go against you because, oh, you didn't give me an interview then. Oh, I didn't like you when you after that game when you got ran over, you didn't talk to me. I'm not voting for you. Okay. Well, how are my career stats? How do I Was my career okay? I mean, it's dumb because they may not vote for you because of something you said to them or something you didn't do that they didn't like off the field. Doesn't make any sense.
That just seems like petty. Because it seems like there's almost
petty.
just like they are the nerds of sports.
Yes.
Where it's just like, I don't like what this jock is doing. And these guys over here, so like, I got the power in my hands when it comes down to it ultimately.
That's right.
When you're going to get enshrined. And I feel like it is so petty and so ridiculous.
It makes no sense. They gotta get some people either in the Hall of Fame in that room or people that actually played the game in that room. That's what I feel like. They need to start changing up who's in the room voting because the people who vote, most of them never played football. You know, they don't have a sense of. I mean, I understand numbers are numbers, but that's not what they're voting on, obviously, because there'd be a hell of a lot more guys in the Hall of Fame that are in there right now. How does Terrell Owens go in on his third ballot?
Exactly.
Because I mean, you didn't like him. That's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not even close. It's not even an argument. Yeah. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he goes in on his third ballot. Makes absolutely no sense. You may not like Terrell, or you may not like some of the things he did. Doesn't matter. As a player, he was a badass. He should be in the Hall of Fame first ballot.
Yeah, because that's what it should be about. Once again, there's this aspect.
Don't make it personal.
Exactly.
Don't make it personal.
Because that's why I like tell people at times. I know I got a few more questions for you at times where you play a sport. Like people crap on baseball all the time. It's like, do you have any idea what it's like to stand in the batter's box and try to hit? Like multiple times go up there, you have no idea if it's a fastball, you have no idea if it's a breaking ball, and then you're out there, it's like, go out there and try to tackle somebody. People just don't even understand the art form there, so when they're just like, oh, I'm just going to look at stats. Like, well, what led to getting those sacks? What led to getting those tackles?
Right. I agree with you. And so some of my better games weren't my better stat games, honestly. You know, it's like being in affecting a throw here or getting just, you know, being in your gap so this guy can make the play. It doesn't always have to be about you making the play. Football is the ultimate team game. If you don't do your job, the other guys can't do their job. That's like, just do your job every single play, and you should be successful. You're going to make enough plays to be successful as a team, and you'll make your fair amount as well. If you, I always tell my son, I said, if you play defense, you can control what you do. You don't need the quarterback to throw you the ball. You don't need the offensive coordinator to hand you the ball or anything like that. Defensively, you control what you do because you make plays or you don't make plays.
Amen. A couple more questions for you. Tell me if this is fact or fiction. You ate chocolate chip cookies before every game.
Fact. 1,000%. Yes.
What kind of chocolate chip cookies?
The kind that Tim's wife made. Our trainer, Tim Breen, would put his wife, Lisa, she'd make cookies and he put two in my locker before every game. That's what.
And was that a superstition, or was that just happened to just?
Well, my rookie year, he started doing it, and I didn't know. I was a rookie. I didn't know what I was doing. And I just met Tim. He was our trainer. He was nice to me. One of the few people that were nice to me when I was a rookie. So, you know, and he goes, "Oh, you want cookies?" I said, "Yeah." You know, I'm a junkie, brother. I'm a junk food junkie. I love sugar. I love chocolate chip. I love Snickers. I love donuts. Anyway, so Tim put two in there before it kind of started my rookie year, and he did it my whole career.
So when you're going around trick-or-treating, then let's say you're an adult, you can still go around trick-or-treating. What do you want people to put in your bag?
Whatchamacallit? Donuts, like the little Hostess circle donuts, chocolate. And now they have a new one, Crunch, that's pretty good. They have the glazed ones too. Whatchamacallit? There's these new Reese's sticks that are pretty good. They come in only king size. Those are good. I'm not sure what they're exactly. They're really good.
Like Take 5 bars or something like that?
No. This is chocolate. This is candy bars. Take 5 are like protein bars, right? Or something like that.
I think they're still candy. Was it
Payday, Reese's, Twix, Kit Kat, Snickers? All those things are good. I like them a lot.
Are you still slamming those candies post-career?
I ride my bike a long way every day so I can eat what I want to.
Amen, bro.
Yeah, you know what I love every night is a glass of milk and either donuts or cookies. That's my thing. I can't figure out why I can't lose any weight. It's weird. Doesn't make any sense to me why I can't drop that extra 5 pounds I've been trying to get off since I retired.
It's like, honey, I'm trying to figure out. So I just ate this today.
I had Chick-fil-A for lunch. I went to Chipotle for dinner, but all I had for breakfast was a granola bar, and then I had milk and cookies before bed. Why can't I lose weight? I rode my bike 40 miles today. I should be able to drop all the weight in the world. Can't figure it out.
But something that definitely doesn't get you to lose that much weight is golf.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, you're usually just cruising around in a cart. You've been playing golf a ton.
Yeah.
Like I know that's a lot of what's on your Instagram feed.
Yeah.
But a funny part about this is I love going out and playing golf with the boys. You got a little special something, a little prank that you throw.
My guy, Zeke, his first appearance on any station or news, anything like that. This is Zeke right here. Some people have probably seen him on the ground. Zeke, he's a little nervous. He doesn't usually get out my golf bag very much, so he's kind of nervous right now. He's used to being put up in the bag for 23 and a half hours a day, and he gets to come out and scare somebody. It's so fun. golf is great, obviously, don't get me wrong, but we don't take it very serious. I mean, I get into some pretty good games, but Zeke's going to come out at some point in the round. He has to. And people know it, and I still get him.
I thought I heard a little rattle over there. I couldn't tell if Zeke was.
Yeah, it might have been Zeke going off over there. That's what I've seen the new snakes now. You clip it onto someone's shirt, and then you're like, oh no, and they take off running, and it follows them. We did that with Zeke one time with fishing line, and it worked on one of my buddy's father-in-law. Oh man, he threw his driver at it, he threw his hat at it. I mean, he was gone. It was great. So yeah, Zeke's got some good laughs over the years.
What made you think of that?
A buddy of mine, Jeff Fujimoto, had his own Zeke to start out, and then he may or may not have gotten me with him, and then I couldn't find him, and Jennifer my wife finally ordered me one, and it backfired on her because I've gotten her a few times with Zeke as well. Got her today on the way over here on accident, put him on the passenger side seat of my truck, and got her because he doesn't come out of the bag at home. He stays in my golf bag, so I know he's always where he's at. So this guy's little nest in there. He just kind of stays on the side with my golf balls.
What's the best Zeke story? Because you posted some pretty good ones on Instagram.
Gosh, the best one we didn't get on film. Oh man, the words people use when you get them, it's like guys that may not cuss normally, they cuss all of a sudden. Like
they're speaking in tongues.
They there's a lot of words. The footwork that goes on when you get them, like the dancing around. The best one I got though was my buddy in Tahoe 2 years ago. He literally saw Zeke and started running, and it's on my Instagram, and he fell over, and he looked back. He was like, is he coming towards me? Like, I was like, and I'm sitting there just, you can see me, you can hear me laughing on the video. I'm dying. I'm like, Rick, dude, it's a fake snake, bro. Look at my Instagram. You've seen this guy before. But the best one was my buddy's father-in-law with the one, we put Zeke on his back and tied into him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he literally, I thought he was going to pull his hamstring. He threw his driver at him and his hat and just took off running. It was phenomenal. Just the reaction. I have a lot of fails too. You know, sometimes where guys are like, you didn't get me. Or they just see the snake and they pick it up and throw it.
Not even scared.
Pisses me off. I should start putting those on there too, the fails. Yeah. Would that be as funny?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's something that would go off on social media. Like even like a YouTube channel, you have like some of those scares and then fails.
Yeah, the fails aren't as fun. People just get like, you didn't get me, you suck. I knew it was coming. Or they see him out of the side of their eye, and you can see them like putting their clubs in their bound, and they kind of jump, and then they go, you didn't get me, and they throw them over there. That happened the other day when I was playing. But it's fun.
That's when you just have the wifey just pan over to you, and you just got this face.
Missed it. Sorry, guys. Missed that one. Zeke, go back to your home.
That's something I would want to see in like the ACC championship in Tahoe.
Oh, it worked. Yeah. Well, it's hard because everyone carries their bag, but we did get Seth Curry's caddy last year, Will. I don't know Will's last name. He's a funny guy. He was on the big break. He plays golf cross-handed.
Oh, he does.
So he swings. He's right-handed, but he grips it backwards. Yeah. We got him on number 7, the par 3. I put this Zeke by his bag. My man like threw the bag over and took off running. We didn't have the camera out. But I got Joe Carter's brother Fred this year in Florida. I put Zeke on the ground under a towel. And Fred's always like, he'll comment on my post, like, he goes, I see you, you're not going to get me. I'm like, all right, cool, man. So I'm hitting balls next to Joe on the range, and Fred comes over and he picks up the towel. He goes, oh, where's Urlacher? First thing he says, where's Urlacher? I finally got him. I haven't had very opportunities to get him, but I finally got him slightly at the tournament last year.
Yeah, it keeps golf fun. I think golf is such a blast, especially living out here in Phoenix. Since I moved, like I was already golfing a ton when I was living in the Bay. But now there's a golf course like
they're everywhere. And this time of year, everyone's starting to clear out because it's getting too hot. Mm-hmm. The winter's tough to get on anywhere. They're so slammed all the time. But my best golf is in the summer. There's nobody out on the courses.
Oh yeah,
and you lose a lot of weight because you're sweating the whole time. It's great.
Maybe that's how you're just able to still slam all that candy. It's
donuts,
like, honey, I'm losing that 5 pounds because I'm going out to
the summertime, I get that 5 pounds off easily. No, the wintertime is when my winter coat's still on a little bit, so it's kind of tough. But summertime, it definitely drops off much faster.
And what are you shooting right now?
Man.
If you don't mind me asking.
Well, my handicap was a 2.2 at one time. Mm-hmm. Not very long ago. Now it's a 5.7.
What happened?
I stink, bro. I don't know what happened to me. It's like, I'm glad you brought it up because now I can go be depressed the rest of the day. I don't know what happened. I haven't broke 70 in probably a month and a half, and I'm usually mid-70s. I can throw a 69 or 70 up there before. Yeah. Not anymore. I can't throw a 79 or 80 up at you right now. I don't know what happened.
What's the best part of your game?
Chipping and putting.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it's got to be because I miss every damn green. I can't hit a green. I can't hit a drive. And when I do, I can't putt. So it's not good, man. I don't. Thanks for bringing it up, though.
Hey.
This was a fun interview until then.
Dang it!
I don't know what happened. The best part of my golf rounds now is Zeke. Like
that.
I'll be 12 over par going to 14. I might as well get Zeke out. My round's over.
All right, why don't we end on a high note?
Okay.
Your hair looks fantastic.
Oh,
Brian.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, no hat today, hat free. Got the gel in there. Thank you. Yeah, I like the hair, man. It's so when I first got the procedure, I was like, ugh, hair. I saw myself bald for 15, 16 years.
That's how everybody knew you.
I know. And then at first I was like, oh man, you look so bad with hair. And then, she liked it, so it didn't matter.
That's what it's about.
And then you get used to seeing yourself with hair, and you're like, oh. And then I look at myself bald. I'm like, oh, you look terrible bald. It's such a difference because you see yourself a certain way for so long, and then it changes. And now I'm so used to seeing myself with hair. Now I can't imagine myself bald again.
And for me, I respect good hair. You got great hair.
You got great hair, and you got great facial hair too.
Yeah,
it's
appreciate
very
that.
gingery. It's nice.
Yeah.
Mine's a little gingery too, with the gray added in there. But your head game is thick and strong. It's nice.
Hey, appreciate that.
Very good.
I thank the big man upstairs every single morning.
You should.
Thanks for the good hair.
It's
Thanks
definitely
for the good
a
beer.
blessing. It's tough. My son has great hair too. So my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
My daughters have great. They're very thick hair. It's a good thing.
And then what they did too is, I know you've mentioned this on plenty of podcasts.
Yeah.
It shows that they just took it from.
So all they do, I call it relocation, man. They took where I had hair, which was all over the back. They took one hair at a time and put it where I didn't have hair, which is up here. They poked tiny little. You're numb. Tiny little holes in your head. 4,000 tiny little holes in my head, and took 4,000 hairs, each follicle, and implanted them where I didn't have hair. Not implanted, just relocated them.
How long is that procedure?
Dude, it took a long time. I got 2 different ones. The first one was like 8 hours, and the second one was probably about the same. It takes a while, but you don't. I'm sitting there watching movies. I'm reading magazines. It wasn't that bad.
What movies would you be watching? What extended version of Lord of the Rings?
I think I missed that one. Movies that I actually like to watch, like Braveheart, Gladiator, sweet movies, Silence of the Lambs, good stuff like that. Comedy, Silence of the Lambs.
It's a great comedy. Just,
comedic movies, yes.
Nothing makes you feel really good. At
Tombstone, good movies like that. Westerns, all the good stuff. Heat, that's a good movie. Heat.
That's a very good movie.
Oh, it's very underrated.
You mentioned Gladiator, though. I think Gladiator is my favorite movie of all time. Final question I have for you.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all time?
Only one?
All right, I'll give you 3.
You give me one movie, you give me one choice. So I'm going to go with Braveheart. Damn.
Freedom.
I want to live too. I love William Wallace. Braveheart's definitely up there. Oh man, I got a comedy. Step Brothers is great. That's a great family movie. The kids love watching that. I got to go with one more.
He had this look in his eyes. Let's get it on.
This craziest look in his eye. What? I'm so not. Anyway, one more. Okay, so we went with.
You got Braveheart. You got Step Brothers. What's number 3?
Man. This is Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, I've only seen that once.
Great movie. Like Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper in that movie are unbelievable. Like it's kind of stressful because the way they act, they're like, damn, are they really this type of people? It's awesome. It's a mainstay on my iPad. So is Braveheart. So is Gladiators on there too.
Oh, yeah.
On my iPad, I have Days of Thunder, The Last Samurai, Tombstone, Saving Private Ryan, another great movie. Damn. Forrest Gump, great movie. Step Brothers, Wedding Crashers, Great Wedding Crash, Old School. I have probably 25 movies on the mainstay rounders on my iPad that I get bored and watch all the time when I fly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, those are great
I'm a
movies.
movie buff. I love movies.
Yeah, me too.
I used to be.
Did
we just become best friends?
I think we just became best friends.
Yep.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut this off. We're going to do some karate in the garage. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Brian, let's go.
I'll get my sword.
This has been a lot of fun. Appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and once again, everybody, too, if you're not subscribed on Apple or Spotify and have not left a review, make sure you do that. We're on YouTube as well. Press subscribe. Press the bell. Brian Urlacher.
Press the
buttons.
buttons.
It's been a heck of a time. Press all those buttons.
Good talk.
Boom, baby. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Puts it out.